They are the alpha predators of the world's oceans, and with more than 500 known species of sharks worldwide, you're never too far away from them wherever you decide to swim. Of course, most shark species are actually completely harmless to humans, but there's a select few that are incredibly dangerous. If you've got a bigger boat, you're gonna need it. Let's begin today's video on the top 15 scariest shark species. Number 15. Tiger shark. Found in tropical and subtropical waters across the planet, particularly those around Central Pacific islands, tiger sharks are a species of requiem shark and are named because of the dark stripes that develop along their bodies in adolescence but fade as they get older. Usually keeping to coastal regions and preferring reef systems because of the plentiful supply of prey, they can grow to around 16 feet or 5 meters long and have been recorded weighing in excess of 2,000 pounds or about 900 kilos. Their diet's mainly made up of animals like crustaceans, seabirds, squids, seals, turtles, fish, and dolphin, and their size means that they're the second largest predatory sharks. Although rare, they also rank second in terms of the number of recorded fatal attacks on humans, and this is mainly because their preferred habitats also happen to be where people like to go into the water. They are slow swimmers that carefully approach their targets from the shadows, which makes them virtually impossible to see until it's too late, and then they'll strike with purpose and make an initial bite with an incredible ferocity that's designed to induce shock and severe blood loss. They've also become renowned for the way they'll eat almost anything and have been called the garbage bins after individuals have been caught and found with large quantities of man-made objects in their stomachs. If you ever even get a hint that one of these is in the water near you, you had better get out as quickly as possible. Their sharp and side-pointing teeth are perfect for tearing through flesh and bone, and they'll make quick work of you if they're hungry. Number 14. Shortfin mako. The shortfin mako is a species of shark that's native to tropical and temperate waters around the globe and is generally regarded as an open water shark. They may occasionally venture closer to shore or around islands though, and the general rule to tell if you're near a shortfin mako is if you see a swordfish, because they like similar conditions to one another, and swordfish are the shortfin mako's favorite meal. Usually grown to around 10 feet or 3.2 meters in length and weighing as much as 298 pounds or 135 kilos, individuals have on occasion been known to be up to 50% larger than normal. They're cylindrical in appearance with an elongated tail, and their blue counter shading allows them to camouflage within the water, which helps them hunt creatures like mackerel, tuna, turtles, birds, and swordfish. Amazingly, they'll consume about 3% of their own weight in prey per day, and they've also been found to have one of, if not the most powerful bite force of any species of shark, with a measurement from one individual in 2020 found to be 3,000 pounds of force or nearly 13,000 newtons. Their streamlined shape allows them to reach high speeds in the water, and they can even leap up above the surface. This has also led to them being a popular game fish, and this increases the number of interactions with humans. When feeling threatened, they'll attack boats or people and have been blamed for several incidents. They're definitely a species to be treated with caution, but if you leave them alone, they shouldn't be a threat. Number 13. Oceanic Whitetip. The huge and notoriously aggressive Oceanic Whitetip shark is a species that lives in the deep oceans all over the world and are often called shipwreck sharks because they're said to be particularly fond of feasting on wreck survivors within their habitat. Growing to around 10 feet or just over 3 meters, with thick stocky bodies and recognizable and white-tip rounded fins, they have various types of teeth lining their mouths that allow them to target a wide range of different prey. In the open oceans, they have to be opportunistic, so will feed on pretty much anything they encounter, although this usually includes turtles, birds, barracuda, oarfish, marlin, tuna, and mackerel. They are solitary and slow-moving animals, but will become more active when they detect food. Sailors used to call them sea dogs because they become curious in a similar way to a dog before going in for the kill. And when there's a big source of prey, a number of oceanic whitetips will work together to take it. Also known for following ships just in case an opportunity presents itself, these were for a long time the most feared sharks of mariners, and for good reason. Number 12. Blue shark. Growing to a length of 10 feet or 3.1 meters, the blue shark is another species of requiem shark and is native to the world's temperate and tropical oceans. Studies have found blue sharks to migrate huge distances, for example between New England and South America, and they're also known for giving birth to some of the largest litters of any known shark, with between 25 and 135 pups in each cycle. Believed to live for as long as 20 years, they prefer the open ocean and have been found at depths of up to 1,150 feet or about 350 meters. They're usually fairly lethargic animals and mainly hunt squid and crustaceans, but the real threat comes from when they work together in packs, and when they do this, they can corner huge stocks of prey to then feast on. As they're usually found in deep waters, interactions with people outside of fishing are rare, but in the 13 recorded biting incidents in the past 450 years, 4 of them were fatal. Number 11. MegaMouth Shark. The MegaMouth Shark was only first discovered in 1976, and since then fewer than 100 individuals have either been seen or caught. This is because they're a deep water species, believed to live at extreme depths both in the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans, and as a result, we know very little about them. It's thought that they grow to around 18 feet or about 5.5 meters long and have enormous mouths that they leave open while they swim so they can filter the water for nutrients as it passes through. They have rows of small teeth and a strangely white inner lip that protrudes, something that leads to them often being misidentified as a baby orca. The megamouth is so unusual that researchers have suggested they belong in a taxonomic family of their own, and they're so large that they could quite easily catch a person in their mouth by accident, and probably wouldn't even notice. Their rarity at the surface means there's very little chance of you ever seeing one, but if you do, it'd be wise to give it a wide berth. Number 10. Goblin Shark. Possibly the strangest looking of all species is the Goblin Shark, one that's found in all the major oceans, usually at depths between 890 and 4,500 feet, or about 270 to 1,300 meters. They come from a lineage of sharks that can be dated back as far as 125 million years ago and are recognizable by their long, flat, blade-like snouts and jaws that can protrude to the same length as the snout when they're feeding. There is no doubt that if you saw one of these in the water, it'd give you the fright of your life, especially as it's thought that they can grow up to 23 feet or 7 meters long. Very few studies have been conducted on them in their natural habitat, but they appear to be slow-moving in the water, which would suggest that they're ambush predators that lay in wait before snapping at their prey with jaws that launch forwards. This technique allows poor swimmers to catch fast-moving prey that would otherwise be beyond reach, which is vital in the sparse deep-water environment. Thought to live as long as 60 years, several hundred are now accidentally caught each year by fisheries, but such little data is available that no one knows for sure how large their population numbers are. Number 9. Saw Shark. There are 10 known species of saw shark, which shouldn't be confused with the similar-looking sawfish that are native to waters all over the planet, although mainly around the Indian and Pacific Oceans. Known for having unusually extended snouts that have sharp teeth along the edges, they usually grow to a length of around 5 feet or 1.5 meters. They're rarely seen near the surface and are believed to be mainly bottom feeders, which is why they have a pair of barbels on their snouts that help them detect prey such as small fish, squid, and crustaceans. The saw-like snout gives them a unique way to attack their targets, as they can use it to slash and disable them before moving in to eat with their mouths, which also have sharp teeth in them. Even though they aren't the largest of shark species and don't pose a particular threat to humans because of the deep regions that they live, the sight of a shark heading toward you with a weapon attached to their head is certainly a fearsome one, and those that have been accidentally caught in fishing nets have been known to thrash violently in an attempt to escape, which can be extremely dangerous to anyone in the way. Number 8. Blacktip Reef Shark. Because they host such rich ecosystems, reefs attack a wide range of nimble predators, and in the warm waters of the Indo-Pacific regions you may encounter a blacktip reef shark. They aren't particularly big, growing to a length of around 5.2 feet, or about 1.6 meters, and they have streamlined bodies with short, rounded snouts. Their size means that they're nimble in water, and this is ideal for hunting small fish and crustaceans, and for evading larger sharks that may try to hunt them. As they aren't necessarily at the top of the food chain where they have a temperament that's usually timid and avoidant unless there's a lot of food, so while they may look like a fearsome predator, they're unlikely to purposefully attack a human. There are instances where they may mistake someone for meals that are more common to their liking, though, and there are numerous reports each year of people that have been wading through shallow waters and accidentally have their leg bitten. There is a way around this danger, though, as communities in the Marshall Islands have found. Whenever they enter the water, they swim instead of walking, and this is usually enough to prevent the sharks from striking. Number 7. Nurse Shark. Native to the warmer coastal waters around the Atlantic and eastern Pacific Oceans, nurse sharks are a popular species for research. But don't take this as meaning they're harmless, because they are fourth in the rankings of the number of attacks on humans. Usually growing to no more than 10 feet or just over 3 meters long, they are brownish in color when fully grown and are opportunistic feeders that prefer to eat small fish and invertebrates, but will attack almost anything they encounter if they're hungry. They are solitary animals that hunt at nighttime and usually spend their time searching through the sediment on the ocean floor. But during the day, they group up together while they rest. This is an important defensive measure because one of the greatest risks to nurse sharks in some coastal areas is predation by crocodiles or alligators, and groups of sharks are more likely able to fend them off. As a rather slow-moving species, you'd have to be very unlucky to suffer a bite from a nurse shark, but because of their natural habitats are shallower waters that people often venture into, there's a higher chance of encountering one, and they'll lash out if they feel you're posing a threat to them. Number 6. Great Hammerhead. Probably the most visually recognizable of all shark species is the great hammerhead. And if you ever see one of these in the ocean, you would better not do anything to attract its attention. Growing to an average length of 15 feet or 4.6 meters, but quite capable of becoming far bigger, they have a streamlined body and the unusually shaped head that's believed to have evolved because it can be used to effectively immobilize large stingrays, which are the great hammerhead's favorite prey. They are the apex predator of virtually every marine environment they live in and can be found in tropical regions across the globe. They're most commonly seen around coral reefs because of the wide variety of prey they can hunt. And not only do they have a wider range of vision because of the position of their eyes on either side of the hammerhead, but they also have dangerously triangular and serrated teeth that tear through flesh with ease. They do have a reputation of being the most aggressive of the hammerhead sharks, but that's not necessarily true, as they're said to actually have a shy and inquisitive temperament. Regardless, their size and power means that they can cause serious injuries to humans if they decide to, and there are a couple of reported attacks on people each year. Number 5. The Bronze Whaler. The bronze whaler, which you may also know as the copper shark, is another species of requiem shark that's found in temperate coastal waters around the world. Preferring to keep to estuaries, shallow bays, and at depths of up to 330 feet or 100 meters, they tend to grow on average to a length of around 11 feet or 3.3 meters long, and are recognizable because of their bronze coloration and hook-shaped upper teeth. They mainly hunt squids and bony fish and can swim at surprisingly fast speeds through the water to chase down their prey. For most of their lives, they'll be solitary unless they're mating, but large groups of bronze whalers have been seen on rare occasions working together to take huge shoals of fish. Attacks on humans are rare, but they can become highly aggressive against people if food is present. They account for about 30% of shark attacks in New Zealand and have been linked to a number of other attacks and deaths elsewhere around the world, although the true numbers are unclear because of how difficult it is to determine which species of requiem shark has bitten someone after it happened. Number 4. Thresher Shark. Usually keeping to the open ocean, there are 3 known species of thresher sharks, each of which have slightly different and unique features. They can grow to a maximum length of around 21 feet or about 6.5 meters, though they don't usually reach quite this size and are mainly recognizable because of their usually tall dorsal fins. This helps them to powerfully swim through the water, but it's also crucial to how they hunt. When they have prey in their sights, they won't attack with their mouths like most other sharks, but will use the tail fin to strike and incapacitate their target before circling around to deliver a killer bite. Because of their normal habitat, they don't pose any particular risk to humans, but their popularity as a game fish has meant that there have been a number of dangerous encounters. When threatened, they'll lash out and have been known to directly attack the hulls of boats after seemingly being attracted by the sound of the engine. If you were unfortunate enough to be subjected to a blow by the tail of a thresher shark, It'd likely break bones and potentially knock you unconscious, and if this happens, they're more than equipped to devour you if they're hungry. Number 3. Lemon Shark. Growing up to 11 feet or 3.4 meters long and weighing as much as 405 pounds or about 184 kilos, lemon sharks are huge creatures and undoubtedly ominous ones to encounter underwater. They're native to coastal regions on both sides of the Atlantic as well as occasionally in the eastern Pacific, and often live in loose groups of several individuals. They mainly hunt at night when they search for unsuspecting shoals of fish, and have been witnessed targeting smaller species of sharks as well. Thought to live for as long as 30 years, they don't have any unusual means of attacking and simply rely on their power and speed to catch their prey, and their powerful jaws and sharp teeth to deliver a fatal bite. There have been 10 recorded incidents of lemon sharks biting humans, none of which were fatal, but this in no way means you should be complacent in their presence. As well as looking terrifying, they can be highly aggressive, particularly if they feel under threat or if they are particularly hungry. And when an animal with this many sharp teeth is desperate, there's no telling what they may be capable of. Their relatively calm temperament with humans has allowed far more research to be conducted with them than other large shark species. And there's a population that lives around the Bimini Islands in the Bahamas that are arguably the best known and most studied sharks of any species anywhere in the world. It's from them that we've been able to learn about the social interactions of sharks, as well as how the changing conditions in the oceans are affecting their choice of habitats. Number 2. Great White Shark. The great white shark is, of course, the most famous and largest species of predatory shark. Growing up to 20 feet or 6.1 meters long and weighing as much as 5,000 pounds or 2,200 kilograms, these fish were designed to be the ultimate killing machines. It's believed that they can live as long as 70 years, which makes them one of the longest surviving of all fish, and the females are only ready to reproduce once they're 33 years old. Great whites have been recorded as reaching speeds of up to 16 miles or 25 kilometers per hour through the water, and seen diving to depths of up to 3,900 feet or 1,200 meters. They are the main predators of marine mammals such as whales and dolphins, and have no major predators that target them, apart from, on occasion, killer whales that have been known to target the nutrient-rich livers of the great whites. The other thing that's particularly impressive about them is that despite there being populations of them in the cooler waters of oceans around the world, individuals will often migrate huge distances, and if they live for several decades, will likely swim through every ocean during their lives. This is the main reason why a great white has never been successfully kept in captivity, but of course the other factor is just how dangerous they are. They are responsible for by far the largest number of attacks by sharks on humans, with a reported 272 since 2012, and 29 people were killed by one between 1990 and 2011. Still, humans aren't a main target for them, and it's actually thought that they don't like the taste of human flesh, which is why so many people are able to escape after an initial bite. If a great white was truly interested in eating you, there'd be nothing you could do and no way out of the water once they get close enough. Number 1. Bull Shark. Found worldwide in coastal warm waters, bull sharks are probably the ones that you should be most afraid of. They aren't as powerful as a great white, but they venture far closer to where humans live and have been seen to swim up into freshwater rivers. It's thought that bull sharks are actually responsible for the vast majority of nearshore attacks on humans, although these are often attributed to other species, and there have been suggestions that a bull shark was actually responsible for the attacks that inspired Jaws. They usually grow to around 11 feet or about 3.5 meters, although several specimens have been measured to be significantly larger than this, and they're a lot stockier than other sharks of a similar size. They also have a ferocious bite force that's been recorded at over 1,300 pounds or 5,900 newtons of force, which when combined with their razor-sharp teeth will cut through the flesh and bone of anything with ease. They're highly territorial and will attack anything that ventures too near and need very little provocation to make the first move. Even other sharks tend to avoid taking on bull sharks once they're fully grown. So surely if their closest relatives are afraid of them, then we definitely should be.
Watch our Animals playlist for more top 15 videos about animals. Sit back, relax, and binge watch all of our best animal-related videos.